We used your savings for the kitchen remodel, Mom shrugged. You still live here, it benefits you too. It was my entire life savings, meant for my first home. I asked, how did you even access my account? She smirked. We know your password. That night, I moved out, froze every account, and when contractors showed up for payment, sat in the middle of our freshly gutted kitchen, dust coating my lungs, staring at a stack of granite samples that cost more than my car. My parents were glowing. My mom was running her hand over a marble slab like it was a holy relic. I cleared my throat, my voice trembling. Mom, I just checked my bank app. Why is my balance zero? Where is the $42,000? She didn't even look up. She just adjusted a sample and shrugged. We used your savings for the kitchen remodel, she said, her voice airy and light. The old cabinets were a disgrace, honey. You still live here, it benefits you too. It's an investment in your home. My heart didn't just drop, it stopped. That was 5 years of double shifts. That was my life. That was the down payment on the condo I was supposed to sign for next month. That was my house money, I whispered. That was every cent I owned. How did you even access my account? I'm 24. My name is the only one on that bank book. She finally turned around, a slow, condescending smirk spreading across her face. Oh, please. We're your parents. We know your password. We've known it since you were 16. You're so dramatic. We're all family here, aren't we? My father walked in, wiping drywall dust off his hands. He didn't even apologize. He just nodded toward the empty space where the stove used to be. The contractors need the second half of the payment by tomorrow morning. 55 grand total. We used yours for the deposit and the materials. We'll figure out the rest later. I looked at them, really looked at them. They didn't see a son. They saw an interest-free ATM. You stole from me, I said. We borrowed from the household, Mom corrected, her tone sharpening. And don't you dare use that tone in this house. You should be happy to contribute to the family legacy. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. A strange cold clarity washed over me. You're right, I said, my voice dead and flat. Family legacy. I get it now. I walked upstairs. I didn't pack everything, just my documents, my laptop, and enough clothes for a week. While they were downstairs clinking wine glasses to celebrate their success, I was on my phone. First, I changed every single password I owned. Second, I called my bank's fraud department. I told them my account had been compromised. I didn't say by my parents. I said unauthorized access. I had the account frozen instantly. Third, I called a friend who had a spare room. I walked downstairs at 11 p.m. They were watching TV. I'm going for a drive, I said. Don't be late, Mom called out. The contractors are coming at 7 a.m. to install the custom island. Someone needs to be awake to let them in. I didn't answer. I drove to a motel, slept for 3 hours, and waited. The next morning, the sweet revenge began. Because I had reported the unauthorized transfer as fraud, the bank initiated a clawback. Since the funds hadn't fully cleared the contractor's merchant account yet, the money was pulled into a holding state for investigation. At 8 a.m., my phone started exploding. It was my mother. I declined. It was my father. I declined. Then came the text. Where are you? The contractors are here. They're saying the deposit was flagged as fraudulent. The foreman is furious. Call us now! I waited until 10 a.m. to reply. I sent one group text. I've moved out. I've reported the theft of my savings to the bank. Since the unauthorized access came from your IP address, the bank is opening an investigation. If you want me to drop the fraud charges, you have 24 hours to sign. A notarized promissory note to pay. Me back every cent, plus interest. Otherwise, the bank handles it through the police. My phone turned into a radioactive brick. You're destroying this family. The kitchen is half finished. There are no counters. We can't cook. The contractor is threatening to sue us for breach of contract. I sat in a coffee shop sipping a latte, feeling lighter than air. I found out later from a cousin that the scene at the house was legendary. The contractors had already ripped out the subflooring and the plumbing. When they realized the deposit had been clawed back, they didn't just stop working. They packed up their tools and left the house a skeleton. My parents had no savings. They had banked on using mine to start the project and figured they'd guilt me into paying the rest once the work was underway. Now, they were stuck in a house with no running water in the kitchen, no stove, and a legal threat from a construction company. A week later, my dad called me from a burner phone. He sounded broken. Son, please. Your mother is crying every day. We're eating takeout on the floor. Just release the funds. I can't, I said smoothly. That would be insurance fraud, wouldn't it? Since I already reported the theft? Unless, of course, you'd like to go to the station and confess that you took it, then maybe the bank can settle it. Silence. I didn't think so, I said. I never went back. I ended up getting my money back after a grueling 3-month process with the bank's fraud division. My parents had to take out a high-interest home equity loan just to make the kitchen functional again, though it ended up looking cheap because they couldn't afford the granite anymore. Every time I see a picture of a beautiful kitchen on Instagram, I smile. I'm living in my own apartment now. The locks are electronic, and the only person who knows the code is